Hi guys, it's Rick Shiels down here at Quest Golf Studio here in Lytham, and I've got some new Cobra drivers to test. The Cobra King F6 and the Cobra King F6 Plus, and I've also got the Pro version as well, which is the F6 Pro Plus Pro version as well. So I'll test that in another video, but this is going to be about the Cobra King F6. Brand new driver to the market. Obviously they've just brought out, well, recently, relatively recently, is the King LTD, which with the hollow head and the spaceport. They brought these two new ones out as well, possibly to replace the Fly Z version, very similar to what the Fly Z clubs were doing, lots of comparisons of how the weight's changed and how it's moved and how it's enhanced. It'd be good to test this against the Fly Z, which I'll do in another video later on down the line. I'm going to give you a bit of a summary of how this club performs from the off, hitting a few shots. I'm then going to later on, in another video further down the line, is do the 30 golf ball test, where I hit 30 golf balls with this club, show the good ones, the bad ones, and the middle ones. So we can really see how it performs off all parts of the club face. I promise you, I'll hit all parts of the club face. Massive, huge footprint of the head. This comes in blue, it comes in white, and it comes in black. Obviously, the blue next to this blue jacket is probably not the most, you can't see it as well, but big, bold colours this. You know, not the first driver that come out in blue over the last couple of years. Mizuno, Nike, to name a few, have come out in blue. I think Cobra was the first ones that really brought out colour, I must admit. But you can get this in white and black. I think I would be opting more for the black version. A black face, which I think looks really smart. Speed channel around the face. So the speed channel is something they introduced with the Fly Z version, or Fly Z, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Very successful, I found. Very hot off the face, the Fly Z versions of last year. In the F6, this driver right now, you can change the weight from the front position towards the back, and likewise. There's a 10 gram weight, and then the other weight is literally nothing. It's just a cover. It's not even a weight. When the 10 gram weight is in the front, it's in its penetrating setting, which I've got it in right now. I've got this in the penetrating setting. And you can flip it to the back for the towering setting. What great words they are. Penetrating and towering. So penetrating is for that kind of lower ball flight. Normally, as a rule, when the ball position, when the weight goes further forward in the driver face, you get lower spin, but not as much forgiveness. Normally equaling in a bit more distance. If the weight's further back, you gain forgiveness, but normally, as a rule, not as much distance as when the weight's forward. Looking behind the ball, it looks enormous. The head looks massive. Whether they've shaped it in some way to make it look absolutely enormous. It's quite a thin face, so whether they've just stretched that weight back. Quite a good looking club actually. I like the design, I like the graphics, and wait till you see the F6 Plus version as well in the next video. That even looks funkier and cooler. So I've got this on GC2. Let's hit some shots. I've just got this in the standard X Flex shaft, 65 gram matrix, black tie. Is it black tie? Matrix? Yeah, it's a matrix black tie. Let's give this a whack. So, like I said, that looks so enormous behind the ball. I don't know whether it's the blue or just the way it's been structured, but it looks huge. This is in penetrating setting. Oh, that's a nice flight. I didn't quite get every single ounce of the golf ball, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't my best hit in the world. Slightly off bottom, which is what I found with the Cobra drivers as of late. I found that the strike performs better when it's higher on the face as opposed to being lower. I found that it seems to perform much better above the equator line than it does below the equator line. So something to bear in mind when hitting these drivers. Lovely sound, really like a real big loud noise. Still don't feel like I got that in the right spot yet. Just needs to be that tiny bit higher off the face, I find. I had this issue with the King LTD. When it wasn't quite high enough on the face, it just spun up a little bit too much and I've lost distance because of that. But when it does get hit higher off the face, they're absolutely flying machines. Let's see if I can show you that one. That felt better. Look how straight they are, by the way. I'll take the straightness of those every single day, but in this setting right now, not finding maximum distance. Like I say, this will be highlighted a bit more when I do the 30 ball test in a few weeks' time. When I do the 30 ball test, you'll see strikes from higher, lower, middle, and how it differs from the really good ones to the not so good ones. Let's find this one a touch higher on the face. There we go. There we go. Watch the difference of this. This was higher on the face. And look at the difference in distance. Isn't that incredible? And that is just strike location. That was just higher on the club face. It reduced the spin by nearly 1,000 RPM. And it just stays hit. There's a little bit of a, seen a trend with these Cobra drivers as of late. When hit higher on the face, absolute flying machines. No question about it. It's just finding that highness and high on the face anyway, so hitting above that equator line to unlock that distance. So that's definitely what I found. You can hit high enough on the face, it spins incredibly well and just seems to go forever. Like that one. Like that one. Oh, that felt good. See what I mean? How balmy is that? How crazy is that? And that was a strike location just above centre. And it performs that good, that much better. So I think once hit with these drivers and knowing how to really unlock the distance with this driver, you can get some incredible results. Let's throw that weight into the back portion this time. So this is, say, a 10 gram weight, which I've got in penetrating setting at the moment. And I'll screw that bad boy out and just show you. So this is a blue weight for this driver. I'm not sure if it stays blue with all of the drivers. I'm not sure. Would it change colour? Maybe go to black with a black driver and white to a white driver. And then the other little capsule is quite simply a piece of plastic. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing at all of any weight. So that's how they're moving weight in their drivers. They're using a very, substantial weight with a 10 gram, and then absolutely nothing with the other kind of cover almost. So I'm going to throw this into the weight back position, which again should be its most forgiving setting. And it says towering. I do like those words. Towering and penetrating. I'm going to change the colour of the line just to show you the difference between these two. Edit club, I'll go for red line. Okay, so I'm going to hit, this is now in the weight back position, the towering position. Same loft, I've not changed anything in that. Let's give it a smack. It does look smart, this driver. I do like the graphics, I like the design. It looks enormous behind the ball, and I can't stress that enough. I really can't. It's a much more longer driver head. For me anyway, it certainly seems that way. Right, towering setting. Will this change the flight? Let's see. Oh, yes. Look at that difference. Didn't that change the flight quite a bit there? That felt really solid. And it's not, if anything, it's not lost any distance at all. I've hit it further. And again, strike location is absolutely enormous, I find, on this driver. And I did with the King LTD. I really did. You hit the right spot, flying machines. Absolute flying machines. Just making sure that right spot gets hit every time. So that was a higher ball flight. Let's see if that happens again. It felt great. The feedback I get through the club is very, very kind of reactive. As soon as you hit it, you know exactly on the face where you've hit it from. So for that instance, it's very, very good. That's lovely. I actually prefer that setting. I actually prefer that weight being a bit further back in the head. For me when I'm hitting that, which is, it's strange because in theory that's not the setting that would best suit me. To go further forward in the face to reduce the spin would best suit me, but that's peaking an extra. I'll have a look on the side view in a minute. Let me hit one more. So at the moment, I'm liking the club what it offers. I think if you can utilise the correct strike point on the face when it's a little bit higher on the face, then it is an absolute flying machine. We've seen from the evidence there, from the penetrating to the towering setting, it does make a difference. It does change the ball flight. Very much higher. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Same loft. Not as long that time, a little bit shorter. That was, again, I would probably said a bit more in the equator line. To see more evidence of how that changes the strike, watch the 30 shot video I'm going to do soon. It's going to be posted in a couple of weeks from now, and you'll see you'll see how it suffers when it's not quite hit either high enough on the face and how the spin changes. Whether they're making it shallower to make it longer, that might have an influence. I'll show you this side view as well, because I think this is quite a key little view across the ball. Let me show this one. Oops, that one. So you can see there up on the screen, I've got the white ball flights were the ones I were hitting when the weight was in its penetrating setting. So the 10 gram was in the front. The red ones are when the the weight was at the towering setting, the red lines, and that's a huge difference. You can definitely sense they've made the adjustability actually work, which is great to see. Never in doubt, but it's nice to always just see it on there as well. Felt good off the face, very, very responsive. Again, if you can just unlock the power of this golf club and hit it in the right spot, flying machines, absolute flying machines. Don't forget, stay tuned for the 30 golf ball test I'm going to be doing coming up. I'm now going to move on to the Cobra King F6 Plus, which has got a slightly different track at the bottom of it, a slightly different weight moving, and I might just hit some with the Pro Plus as well. But there's not a lot of difference, just loft settings are different. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Do subscribe so that you get notifications when I do put out the full test of this driver. This is just a bit of a sneak kind of preview. And over 6 shots, you can't really see how a club performs, in my opinion, at all. You can get glimpses of how it can perform, but until you do some much more thorough testing, you're not going to really see the benefit of how this club performs. So stay tuned for the thorough testing. That's going to come up soon. Subscribe, comment below what you think about the new Cobra King F6, and don't forget to stay tuned for the F6 Plus. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.